So, Carling Currie Cup, round 9 it is, and the Sigma Lions are up against the Winthrop Griquas down here, or up here I should say, in Johannesburg. And we find ourselves at the Wits Stadium at Wits University. So a change in environment, because certainly the game was going to be played at Emirates Airline Park, but it was supposed to be played tomorrow, but it's been brought forward. And that's the Griquas team then that will be taking the field today. Neil Otto will captain their side, and a team that is desperate to get some extra points and show that they can play in a semi-final during the course of this campaign. There's a lot of talent in that team, and there's a fair amount of experience, one's got to say, too. George Whitehead at fly half, Stefan Ungara in the scrum half position. Two vital cogs for them in this match. But perhaps the most important of all is how the Lions team has been beefed up with some players from the URC team that can just help to strengthen this team in some form or another. Andre Warner gets the captain's jersey for this match today, and an important role for him to play. There's a lot of talent in this team, but they haven't really shown it as this season has progressed. The only Springbok amongst them, Yanni Duplessis, number 18, no doubt, will also perhaps get an opportunity for a run today. So it's a beautiful day in Johannesburg, perfect for rugby. A pretty heavy field, one's got to say too, but more about that later. And there the Lions are. No victories in 7 starts that they've had during the course of the season, and some of the score lines have been rather large, so they're really looking for a turnaround. But look at Griquas, they're in 4th position right now, and they want to consolidate that, and if they can move up that log even a little bit further, who knows, maybe they even get a home semi-final. But there's a lot of work to be done still, and obviously the teams ahead of Griquas have been in superb form, especially the Cheetahs this season. They really look very useful. So that's the start then of this weekend. It'll be this match now that we've just been describing, and then tomorrow Western Province down at the DHL Stadium will take on the Cheetahs. That's a huge encounter for both of those teams, and one's got to say that the one the next day is just as important with the Sharks at home against the Bulls. But that game's been cancelled as things stand, so that presumably means shared points for the two teams. It was a great pity, because that could have been a real humdinger, one's got to say too. Well, just while we're waiting for the teams to come up, my fellow commentator got in, did some paddling up from Durban to get here. There's lots of water, I'm sure, around there. Andrew Butch James, who's alongside me today. Butch, I think just looking at those teams, the Lions beefing up that front row perhaps is a clear indication that they want to make sure that they have some level up front.
Yeah, most definitely, Gavin. Us as being fly halves, both of us, we hate to admit it, but the game is always one up front. I know we hate to admit it, but it is the truth. And I think especially in that front row, you know, nowadays with the scrum, it's so important. A lot of the teams are keeping that ball in, going for the extra push, getting the penalty, where you're then able to kick to the corner. And with these big boys in that front row, then you go to the line-out maul, and then more often than not, you produce a try from that maul as well. So for me, 3 huge players for the Lions is that front row, and let's see how they hold up this afternoon.
So the visitors then, out they come, led by Neil Otto, who will be wearing the number 6 jersey today. And just glancing across at that team too, so that's Neil Otto in picture.
But points over the board is what they've gone for.
I think, like with any competition, as it graduates more and more, you start becoming a little bit more conservative when it comes to points. Grab what you can.
Yeah, and Griquas will first of all be looking for the win, yeah. Not quite looking at the bonus point just yet. They want to make sure that they get the win first and foremost.
I do think that that bonus point could be quite vital too in the long run. But as you say, you've got to deal with the first up issues, and that's to win the game. A war of attrition it'll be with those two packs of forwards up front. Zalinger Stadium has come a long way back here, expecting a kick as well on the left wing, but that's gone straight up. A little loop pass, and now Whitehead with a huge kick downfield. Well picked up as well by Luke Rousseau. That's right up against the touchline. Reinhard Jonker up for it. Well taken by the fullback. Not a good pass to Zander du Plessis. Referee Jalaswini says it went backwards, so they'll continue playing. There's no scrum off at the moment. I don't think Zweleni Zito is the right man to go in there. So Whitehead takes over that role. Hungary just looking for those big forwards to carry it forward again. Dube not making much ground, so we'll probably see another kick from Unger over the top. That I think might have gone straight into touch. No. Stayed in field, but a little bit of a knock on. I think we're going to see a lot of those pepperings from Stefan Unger from the base.
Definitely, Gavin. This one of the strengths of his game, Stefan Unger, is his kicking game, and especially the box kick. The one previous to this one probably didn't go the right distance. Would have wanted it to go a little bit further. That one pretty spot on.
Scrum.
First scrum of the game. So we've mentioned that the Lions have beefed up that front row. So a huge challenge for the Windhoek Draft Griquas.
It's also a great opportunity as well for players that have missed out through injury in recent times. There's one of them, Jaco Frasaki. Chance to get some game time.
Time back on. Crouch. Bind. Okay, stand up. Let's do it again. JP.
JP Smith there. Kala Fasaki alongside him, Kalu Sadi on the right head. Up against Kudzwai Dube. So a fair bit of experience in both of those front rows, one's got to say.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Just not sure what's happened to Stefan Unger, but Jan Mulder's a scrum off at the moment, the replacement for Griquas. And that scrum, well, look at the Lions. They're very happy with that scrum.
Yeah, there's huge pressure coming from that Lions pack.
Both packs standing up. Let's do it
Especially
again.
as the ball was put in. Pressure came on.
Time off.
Seemed to hold them after that, but that might have been due to them all standing up.
Yeah.
Well, JP Smith's got a problem with his studs at the moment, so
There's no clear dominance from either pack. Yeah.
it's a little bit like
There's no clear
shoelaces.
dominance from either
Certainly
pack.
back in my day, if you had to tie your
Number 9.
shoelaces on the field to replace a stud,
Give me a credible feed.
you got hammered by the coach. He
Not
said
gonna
you do
lie.
those things before you go onto the field.
Yeah, especially the laces.
That's the first scrum. You're the one putting the ball in.
Yeah, and he's going to need those studs. Had to walk across the field. It is a little bit damp and wet underfoot.
Yeah, I took a walk on the field. It's quite heavy, yeah, I must say. You know, there's been a lot of rain up here too, so it's going to be a slow game from it. It's not a fast pitch.
They're getting new boots.
You need a spanner for that. You can't do it with your hands, even if you've got hands the size of J.P. Smith.
Can you just... Is there a way that we can speed this up?
Yeah.
So those hands of steel have put the stud in. I don't know how long it'll last for. Maybe one scrum. That's all he needs.
Well, it's a vital component of
Crouch.
the bag that's carried around the field. A spanner, along with all the other things that go into it. Spare studs. Maybe some COVID masks, and you know that. But the Lions will claim their victory. You can see them clapping hands. They're really happy with that scrum. That's Carly Sadi there. He's a giant of a man. So Tiaan Swanepoel will try and hammer this down towards the corner flag and get the Lions into the 22 of Griquas. It's not a bad effort with a relatively narrow angle.
Yeah, it is a really good kick. It's come down on the side of Janu Botha. That's pretty hard for a fly-off to give you the exact ruling there, but it almost looked like J.P. Smith was also involved in pulling that down, so maybe a reset would have been the correct outcome.
Open up.
Derek Pretorius making the most, Cal Schmidt rather, making the most of the opportunity there. No real motion, out from Warner. James Molensi almost seemed like he got tackled in mid-air, which of course is very penalizable, but that's not the reason why.
No, it was over, but yeah. It wasn't from the line out, it was general. Not from the line out, not from the line out.
Griquas players just slightly offside on that occasion, so Swanepoel getting it a little bit closer towards that corner.
Yeah, and it's as we spoke about before the game that the Lions would look to go to that maul.
Option.
Oh, it's actually gone dead from Swanepoel.
Drop line got.
Oh no, sorry, it hasn't. Sorry. Oh, it has gone. It has gone dead.
It's a 22. Sorry.
Yeah,
James,
the angle was
or scrum.
Enough for him to have made the most of it, but he hasn't managed to do that. So they'll come back for a 22 now and went into touching goal.
Yeah, that's disappointing for the Sigma Lions. Wasn't a difficult kick at all.
And George Whitehead now, does he go deep?
Okay,
does he look to try and bring his forwards into play? They're pretty much spread across the field. No, so he's gone straight down the middle. Defence coming up in one solid line, the men in peacock blue jerseys. Warner, Sangweni. Now a little bit of space there. That's good running as well from Jaco Fasaki.
Playing the man out the ball first.
That's another penalty this time to the Lions, and will they consider a kick at goal? Or they're going to look to probe again for that 12. Corner flag. A little bit of a hold-up at the moment because it does look like J.P. Smith. They found a spanner to tighten those studs of his.
Maybe the handyman at the stadium found his pliers. And just to the touchline, the Lions go again through Swanepoel. Yeah, it was just a forward pass to Fasaki. That's why they've come back to the penalty.
Jared Cairns, Sangweni right at the back of the line out. So some more options for them, using the loose forwards as the jumper in the line out on that occasion.
First stoppage.
Well, the Lions not able to really progress it now. Griquas also have their hands on the ball, and unless the Lions get that released, well, they don't. It comes the way of Griquas. That's very good play by the men from Kimberley. Jonker with a long pass, but too long for Luther Obi.
Captain. Scrum.
Yeah, well, that was incredible defense from the Griquas pack. Going straight through the maul, getting their hands on the ball, turning it over. And I mentioned Marius Jonker, I'm sorry, Reinhard Jonker. I'm sure Marius isn't going to make his way onto the field. He is here watching his son. But that ball from Reinhard just needed to go through the hands. Would have done it for Griquas.
No, it's such a good point that as well, Butch, and we often mention it, just take it through the hands. That's all that's required, you know, when you're trying to hasten the throw. If it goes wild and woolly like that, I mean, you lose the opportunities that you have. There's enough pace in this back line as well of Griquas to just basically adopt a man-on-man situation until some space opens up somewhere along the line.
Yeah, and I'm sure they are trying to get that ball into Luther Obi's hands. He's such a dangerous runner with the ball. On all the attack, that Griquas should be trying to get the ball to him.
Higher, please, gents. And closer.
Even to set up play, really is a strong runner.
You need to get it higher.
Now there we go. Again on this side of the scrum, we're having a bit of problems. JP Smith and Janu Buerta.
Make sure we're a little bit higher, please. Crouch. Bye. Sit.
Well, the Lions scrum has stood pretty strong, what's got to say as well, up until now. And in fact, they've got a penalty advantage from it too, which is another huge bonus for them. Here's Molensi. Oh, the long pass over the top and nearly taken away, but of course there is a penalty accruing. So they'll come back for that now. Lions still without any points on the board.
Angle. Number one.
Just the angle this time, and I've got no doubt they go back to the touchline for another line out. This time Swanepoel making really short.
That's exactly what happened there. She went forward first and then came around, which is fine.
Well, Griquas, those 4 penalties that they've conceded have all been in kickable situations too, but the Lions choosing to try and keep probing for that line, that goal line, with their kicks down for lineouts. But the Griquas defense has held. They've held really, really well.
In the 5, lineouts
Derek
over.
Pretorius with the catch. Can they get some momentum from this maul? And you've got Carlos Sardi helping to pull the tractor along, and JP Smith at the back. It certainly can get some momentum. Eventually now it's taken away.
Tackle! Tackle!
Well, it's got to be released now, so, and so it is.
Tackle!
Kamlashi trying to do his bit there, but here's a real chance for them now. Back in field goes under Duplessis. It's going to be another penalty, and we're starting to head into yellow card territory, I think.
I was just thinking that, Gab.
Number 1 again.
So at least be a warning.
Biden coming in from the side.
It's got the penalty against Dube for coming in from the side.
We need to be
To the
careful
corner
what
they go
happens
again.
now.
That was a much better line-out maul from the Lions.
penalties are mounting up. Number 1 in
Well
from the side.
controlled. Had it set up really nicely. Nice and
Number
long
1.
tail. The previous mauls have
She
all
lost
been
his
pretty
original
shallow.
ball. She can't swim around.
Allowed the Griquas to get their hands over the top, to get their hands on the ball.
Well, Well, Derek Pretorius has been a champion
Line out to
in
the side, line out's over.
rather Carl Schmidt has been a champion in the lineouts as well for
Through the
Griquas,
middle, yeah.
for the Lions rather. But they can't get that momentum. That's the big thing that they really want. Griquas defense standing strong. Now here's the ball now, says Andre Warner. There it comes. Now for Saki. Fell quite awkwardly, so the ball wasn't ideally presented there, but they've still held on to it. Interesting, Sailing Australia was standing out very wide here with a little bit of space to work with. Here's JP Smith. Well, might have gone the wrong way, but back inside comes James Malenzi.
Turnover's good, he's got it.
Well, as we saw from the Lions, some very, very good defense, and we're seeing it this time from Griquas. Well, what they've done is turned over possession once again for the second time now. They've done a really good job with that, and it's a great kick as well from George Whitehead. But back they come. Tion Swanepoel staying on his feet, getting him his forwards very much on the front foot. Warner this time taken up by Junior White. Sadi, not the easiest man to bring down, of course. Once again, it's Junior White, but it's been taken away. That's great play that by Griquas. Now they can open things up with, they've got a man with real pace, and that they have got as well. Downfield they go. It's going to be a great try this for Manu Hartzenberg. Called for the ball early, and over he goes.
Yeah, well, he can put that try down to Kamlashi. I know it was that man, Manu Hartzenberg, with the pace to burn all the Lions defenders on the outside. But it was the turnover from Kamlashi. Taking on the big lock forward of the Lions. Ripping it in the tackle. He felt he didn't have the pace himself. Gave it to the wheels man on the outside, and away he went. Lovely stuff to see.
I think if he'd waited a second, maybe 2 seconds longer, they wouldn't have scored that try. He had to give it to the quick man. Not that he's that slow, but certainly Hartzenberg. He's got wheels, this fella.
Yeah, it was just the carry from Junior White. It had such a good carry. Ruck or two before that, got up and got the ball again. It was well ripped out of his hands by Kamlashi. Brilliant stuff to also keep control of it, not knock it on. There was the pass. He knew he wasn't going to go all the way. Still had a bit of work to do. We had Swanepoel also coming across on the angle, so really had to put the afterburners on. And that was well done. Great defense leading to a good try for Griquas.
I guess Andre Warner's role as captain has also become really important right now, because he's got to convince his team that we're really in a good position there too to get points, and then can go and concede 7. They've got to keep their heads up, the Lions. They've got to keep fighting, and they've got to get points on the board.
Use 9.
So still no sign of Stefan Angara. Left the field. We're just waiting to hear what the situation is with him. Johan Mulder has taken over from him as the replacement. The youngster from Office. Well, previously he's out of school now, of course. And Griquas have won the break. So the breakdowns seem to be going the way of Griquas, and they've certainly turned over possession on a good few occasions.
Yeah, the new man on the field, Johan Mulder, with a brilliant box kick. It was equally well taken by that man who's still down, Baldwin Hansen, sorry. He was well challenged in the air, that's why he's still on the ground. It was a huge collision mid-air between himself and Luther Obi. Managed to still hold on to the ball. Did really well, eyes on the ball the whole time, really brave. Just unfortunately, because of that collision, fell the wrong way, leading towards the Griquas, and it was easy pickings for them.
First touch for him and he gets injured.
Yeah, not ideal.
Not a lot of fun, that, is it?
There we go.
George Whitehead, in the meanwhile, has earned some valuable real estate there. Good kick downfield. Griquas once again in a very, very good position, and they do get that ball going forward. The Lions have got to be careful they don't deliberately collapse it. Another penalty. The penalty count starting to mount.
Collapsing.
Yeah, and I think after watching that line-up more, I wouldn't be surprised if the Griquas this time do go to the corner. There we go. It's quite entertaining. Little pop-up there by Mulder. I think it was to his skipper, Neil Otto, but he decided to duck it.
Well, they've just conceded 7 points. Have the Lions, they don't want to concede another 7 as Swamili Zito goes up for it.
Own player.
Mulder is on the Duplessis. All the big guns getting ready for a drive at the line. Simon Vestrad, good play from the hooker. Andrew Sergil did quite well there too. Made sure he held on to the ball, of course, didn't want to lose it. We've seen quite a bit of Komlashi in this game. Out from Mulder now, Whitehead with a quick one, Duplessis. Lions quite desperate, and they've got their hands on the ball, and I think they've won the penalty too.
Yeah, that's brilliant work, Jared Cairns. Good defense from the Lions. Stopped that maul in its tracks. It was huge work by Kalu Sadi at that defensive maul. And then from the ensuing rucks, good defense, good low tackling from the Lions, allowing their players to get over the ball and allowing Jared Cairns to get the steal. Henko van Wyk with the tackle on Duplessis, and there was as quick as a flash. Jared Cairns, great work from the young man.
Well, so far the Lions have worked really well for the Lions. They've been scrumming well too. The breakdown has maybe been their Achilles heel. Well, so with the hoist up there, and it's a good kick as well, but very well taken by Griquas. Luther Olby, and born in Nigeria. And certainly the Lions very desperate to make sure that they hold their lines defensively. I know that Griquas like to play a fast-paced game. It's not the ideal field for that. But certainly when they get things in motion and they start playing a little bit wider, they can become really dangerous.
Turnover's good. Griquas, leave it. Griquas, leave it. Turnover's good.
Warner with a kick down towards the corner. It's a very good kick right up against the touchline and eventually going into touch.
Yeah, I think it's a 50-22 as well. So
it is too, yes.
Luther Olby can't take that quickly. What a kick from the skipper, Andre Warner. We've mentioned the experience he's got. He's also got the skills. Great awareness from him. He knew the turnover, they would be all up after being on attack. Popped it over them, end over end, to make sure that it did get that roll on. And this is a huge opportunity for the Lions. They've got to start taking these chances. They've been in the Griquas 22 quite a number of times.
Time short for those huddles, please.
And still with 0 on the scoreboard, so they'll want to change that.
Do they change their tactic from the line out? They're catching the ball well there. They're looking to drive with the forwards when they're close by, which one can understand. When you're not making headway, you look at another option. Well, this is what they've in fact just done and made a bit of a hash of it, one's got to say. Mulder. Jonker. And here comes Hartzenberg again. Kept in field there by Jonker. That's a good kick too. down right into touch, close to the line. So once again, the game is swept from one side of the field to the other with some inventive play from the Griquas.
Yeah, that was a lovely counter-attack from the Windhoek Draft Griquas. I wonder if that was another 50-22 as well from Reinhard Jonker. He did really well to follow up and get there in support, and look at that, almost like a banana grabber, and that's a 50-22 for his team as well. So back on attack, go Griquas.
Sibak Koma at the back there, Zwanele Zito, they're just changing direction, changing positions, get their line out working effectively. The line out's been good. That's a great ball for Zander du Plessis. Mulder. Mlashi. Good side keeper standing off here. Once again, that's a good pass there too. Derek Pretorius brought down. Once again, the Lions having to make an enormous number of tackles in their own 22. Mulder.
Still playing a penalty advantage.
Pretorius taking it in once again. Can Griquas find perhaps a pot that can take them a little bit closer?
Backwards.
It's one man going on his own on occasions. Kamlashi. That's a high tackle, so that's a penalty. Griquas don't want the penalty now. They want 7 points though, and they're not going to get it, so they'll have to come back for that penalty. And we saw what Whitehead did with the first one, which I don't know if he's still going to kick it goal.
Yeah, I think he'll pop this one over, Gavin.
Which one do you want? There's a penalty here, a penalty there. Dangerous tackle.
Yeah, they'll keep working that scoreboard pressure. Again, very brave defense from the Stigma Lions, throwing their bodies around. Griquas not really going anywhere. Just got to watch the discipline. That time a hard tackle. And the defensive systems certainly are good, so they've just got to trust them and keep making their tackles, and all will be well on the defensive front.
Great kicking record, this man, George Whitehead, as he secures another 3 points. So outside of the solitary try in the game, which was very much against the run of play, the game has been quite tightly contested, and it doesn't look like that on the scoreboard, of course.
No, it's been a very evenly matched game. This was the high one. First contact on the ball, and more often than not, once it hits that ball, it just slides up. Definitely a hard tackle.
Yeah, Carl Schmidt there, a bit of hangman.
First penalty advantage was for him not running away.
So Luc Rousseau has decided to go deep most of the time. This time he goes a little bit shorter. It's a great ball for them as well. But you've got to, so difficult to control that sometimes when you're going to tap it backwards.
11.
Penalty count certainly mounting. And now a little bit of back chat. So Nelly's Judd is really such a nice guy. I mean, what are you on a back chatting for?
Yeah, this time, interesting call. They are going to try to get the points on the board. But yeah, I think a warning maybe for both teams, really. As the Lions, once they do get going, just the tackler not rolling away that time, that's where they were penalized. But they've been penalized quite a number of times in this first half quiz, especially when the Lions are getting into their half. So maybe a warning.
Yeah, your comment a little bit earlier about that team warning is just, I'm a great believer in that, because I think that just sets the tone, provided everybody knows where they stand when it comes to that.
Yeah, because you're always going to push the laws and push the boundaries until you get that warning.
He won't be short, Dion Swanepoel. He does kick the ball prodigious distances, but not straight enough on this occasion. So they remain on 0, do the Lions. And they're heading up towards half-time. They've certainly had the opportunities.
That's unnecessary.
They haven't made the most of them.
We'll just keep out of that, okay?
In fact, the Lions lost to the Sharks 37 points to 10, their last up game, and Griquas also, their last game was against the Sharks. They lost 13-6, so there were some tight games too against quality opposition.
Number 6
this time going a little bit wider
advantage
with JP Smith. Still they go. The Lions holding on to it now. Saw the Lions defend through about 10 phases a little bit early on. Is it Griquas' turn to do just that? And they really have defended well, have Griquas. Well, the need's been there, and not just defended well, but they've turned over possession in their own 22, which is so important.
That's fine. Nothing wrong there.
Another penalty opportunity. So does Tiaan Swanepoel have another crack at goal? The way things stand at the moment, I don't know. Just I mean, Butch, I don't know what you'd do if you were captain of the side and not the kicker. Whether you would go to the kicker and say, "Get me 3 points. This game's tight enough. Let's get 3. Let's get on the board."
No, they need to get on the board. The Lions, and they have gone to the kicking tee. Way offsides, Griquas. Was their skipper, Neil Otto. Just a bit too eager. Yeah, and he really does need this one, Tiaan Swanepoel, just for the whole morale of the team. Because like you mentioned earlier, Gav, they've certainly been in this half and they are still in this game. So they need some points.
Now, different to kicking at Emirates Airline Park here at the Wits Stadium. A little bit of a breeze. I think he's nailed this one. Yep. Again, no problem with the distance, but they're on the board, most importantly, the Lions.
Yeah, he hit the uprights and nearly knocked the uprights over. Plenty of power behind that boot. And on the scoreboard they go. Exactly what the Lions would have needed and wanted. And still 5.5 minutes till half time, so they'll want to add to that 3 points before going into the half-time break.
Again, it's pretty much down the middle of the park there from George Whitehead. Not quite the middle, but closer to the middle. Oh, Warner kick over the back. He's asking for some support, but there wasn't enough, so he's done the right thing. He's given it to Swanepoel, who, believe me, when he kicks out of hand, he kicks at prodigious distances. Not on this occasion.
Yeah, he had a lot of pressure streaming down on him. But yeah, now for the Griquas, they obviously want to put a number of phases together and try to get over that try line again, where on the Lions side, like I mentioned earlier, just got to trust their defense. It's been really, really good. Not give away any penalties.
They spent a lot of this first half in their own half, Griquas, in having to defend, and they'll be proud of their efforts as far as that's concerned. When they've got into the Lions half, they look very dangerous. But also not quite finishing things off. Mulder. Now Whitehead. Quick pass from him too. And the counter-attack coming from the Lions. And they've won it. And says referee Jadisweni.
Yeah, that's much better from the Lions. Good defense again. Great work, especially by Henke van Wyk. Made the tackle, got back on his feet, counter-rucked, got the turnover, forced the knock-on. And now that will give them opportunity to either have a go. It's always nice to have a go from your own half, because more often than not, both wingers are a little bit back, expecting the kick. Or if they are in the line, you can put it onto boot and find a lot of ground.
Square up.
Yeah, you spoke about trusting your defense. I think you've got to trust your attack as well sometimes, you know, and really just give it a go. You've got the skill set to do it. Find the space there. That's how you can upset a side like Griquas if the Lions, who are in possession. The scrum stood well in this first half, but this time they concede the penalty as they go down. And George Whitehead is just going to eke out those points as well, take them up to 16 if he decides to kick it goal. No, he's not going to do that, I don't think.
To the corner. Interesting. Yeah, and that penalty was similar to the one we saw from the very first scrum. I did also feel that JP Smith was the one pulling it down, but it was Jano Buerta who got penalised that instance. And this time,
Jano Buerta is a short, stocky little guy, and probably a very difficult guy to scrum against.
Yeah, exactly.
JP Smith's quite tall. And there's a loose head, you know. Sometimes you get hauled down a little bit easier than you would like. But this time it's Griquas now with Vestraat with a throw in. Zito in the front, didn't even have to jump. Very well done that by Griquas. They fooled the Lions. Have they fooled them enough to get a 5-pointer rather? Still they go, but they haven't managed to keep it in field. Good defense there from the Lions.
Yeah, very good maul defense from the Lions. Thought the Griquas had that nicely set. Little sneaky little run out to the front. They maybe should have kept on going that way, although they probably saw Carlu Sadu there and thought, oh, that's a bad idea. So went to the other way.
So shorter line out for the Lions on this occasion. Seen so much of Cal Smith, who's done a good job. Where he normally plays 8th man. Here comes Andre Warner. Good running out from the captain. Looking for the pace man. And desperate defense there from Griquas, and an absolute try saver perhaps as well.
Yeah, that's unbelievable defense from Johan Mulder. So Zailing a straight on. Well, first of all, it was brilliant work from Andre Warner. Through the dummy, went down the blind side, got it away to straight on to the pace man, but it was Mulder who stopped things in its tracks.
So much relief then for Griquas, rather for the Lions, into the Griquas half of the field. The tap down comes from the Lions. Again, it's Zailing straight in with not much room to move, and the left wing has done well. He's protected that possession, allowing the Lions in the form of Carlu Sadu to carry it up. And there's a fair bit of open space here too, as Reinhard Jonker works his way round. It's also a pretty good kick that Hartzenberg up for it. He manages to secure it. But the counter comes from the Lions.
Falls out.
And then some really good work as well for Griquas. They'll just kick this out now and go into half-time feeling that they've had to work really hard in this first half for the points that they've got. But they'll be feeling quite positive too about the way that they've played and the way that they've defended too against a rather plucky Lions side, one's got to say. And maybe that front row has just certainly helped their cause in many, many ways. So half-time here at the Wits Rugby Stadium then. Griquas 13, Lions 3.
Here we go, here we go. It's magic! Can you believe it?
DHL Super Rugby Pacific, live on Sky Sport.
Alert, alert, collision imminent.
April on Jones 2 is better than ever.
Allow me to explain.
With some of the biggest shows ever created.
The Buck Rogers.
Fraser, they call you the Fresh Prince.
And some of the biggest stars of all time.
Who the are you?
Ooh, me.
All the classic characters.
This must be the Portobello Road.
All the iconic moments. All through April on Jones 2.
That's it.
That's it.
Tomorrow's champions are inspired by today's, but they can only be what they can see. That's why Sky brings you more strength, more skill, more speed, more courage.
Oh my goodness.
And not just on the pitch, you'll see it behind the scenes, in front of the camera, and all over the game plan.
This is what we've been waiting for.
See the rise. See the potential. See history being made. See the possible.
Prepare yourself for a broadband service simply made to entertain. Sky Broadband has arrived.
Yeah, but is it fast?
Yeah, it's fiber.
It's lycra fast.
Ooh.
So it can handle all your entertainment needs.
Ooh.
Like this. That.
Time for the icing.
And this. It's so fast you'll never have to worry your little hit again. Oh, do you know what's not little?
What?
Our Wi-Fi coverage is simply huge. Yeah. It'll cover your house.
That's a pretty small house.
Well, it's a model.
Ask about the setup. Tell me about the setup.
Yeah, it's simple. You could do it yourself, or my personal fave, ask for our super setup technicians. They'll set up your broadband, connect your devices, and will look damn good doing it.
That's cool. But how much does it cost?
Yep. For Sky TV customers, our lightning fast Wi-Fi is from only $79 a month. Don't touch that. That's like paying for a chicken and getting a bald eagle.
I like it.
So what are you waiting for? If you want amazing broadband at a super snazzy price, then welcome to Sky Broadband. That's my part. I do that. Sorry. That's okay.
HSBC World Rugby 7 Series, live on Sky Sport.
The first 40 minutes of this game, Butch James said it a little bit early on in the first half, very little to separate these two sides. The Griquas having scored one try, 13 points to 3. The visitors currently lead at this point in time, and one of the things that we saw happening quite early into that first half was the exit of Stefan Angra. Now, he was a late change last week where he didn't play against the Sharks, and he did make a full recovery and trained throughout the week with the team, but had a case of vomiting a little bit earlier on in that first half, so they have substituted him. Yet to see him having come out of the cloakrooms as well, but we'll give you those updates as the match does develop. But having looked at that first half and having seen what happened, Akona Ndungane is still with me at the moment, and Akona, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, very little to separate the two sides at the moment.
Yeah, it was a tight game. It was a good game to watch, but it looks like the Lions are playing it in a wrong way, in the sense that when they get into the Griquas half, they're looking to go for the corner, for the driving more, keep ball in hand, and not getting 3 points. And that's how you build the scoreboard pressure. And unfortunately for them, Griquas have defended the Maul very well. They were getting up, and for the Lions, having one runner off, and then, the cleaners were late to the breakdown. Griquas were good on the ground. So very good half from the Griquas side.
And at this point, we're going to see the next try rolling over. Very influential from Sangwa Glamlashe with that rip. But at this point, the Lions had kicked to touch about 3 or 4 penalties that were kickable at goal. So you're looking at almost a 19-point turnover if you want to look at it, including the 7.
And for a desperate side, you would expect them to get those easy 3 points. And I'm sure that's what the coaches will be telling the players at halftime, that let's try and get those points. Let's build that scoreboard. And if you look at the try now, Lions had the ball. They were taking at the Griquas half. And great work from Glamlashe, ripping the ball away and, giving to the Spitzer on the outside.
Back where you would have been in the day.
Yeah, and he was waiting for it. And I thought it was almost a bit too late, because the cross cover was coming. But the guy Hatzenberg showed great pace to finish. And, well-deserved try from the Griquas side.
And then one thing that also happened throughout the game is that you saw the Griquas still ticking over that scoreboard. I mean, the penalties as well that they've kicked when it's been kickable, taking opportunities at hand.
Yeah, and I think that's what this game is about. It's going to be a close game. It might open up in the second half, but in that first half, you have to make sure that you get the points. But what I was impressed with from the Lions side, defensively, much better performance. They were putting up the hits, keeping width on defense, because you see what Griquas is trying to do, keep the ball wide, because they've got exciting backs. But for the Lions side, very good defense, and hopefully when they come into the second half, once they get into that Griquas half, get the points and start again.
We're looking at some of the stats here, Connor, from the game. We're looking at the Griquas, they've dominated the possession somewhat because they've been able to hold that line as well. But what stands out for you? I mean, the penalty count has been quite high too.
Yeah, if you look at that penalty count, 8 for Griquas, 6 for the Lions. So that shows you that the Lions actually have played much better. And I think the inclusions of those experienced guys made the big difference. Set piece, yes, they were good scrums, good lineouts, but unfortunately they couldn't capitalize on that.
Before we go into the second half, Connor, any changes from your original prediction, which did see the Griquas winning earlier?
Nah, I don't think I'll change my prediction. I still back the Griquas to win, and I think it will open up, but I'm sure they'll push for that bonus point.
Well, it's one of those things, again, a game that we're expecting to be a lot more open. It's tightened up quite a bit. The Griquas having put 40 points in the Sigma Lions previously, being held reasonably well thus far. How's it going to fare in the second half? Well, let's go find out. It's next.
At your service.
She's coming out of the convent.
Thank you, sister.
And into a brand new series of her own.
Police scientific advisor. I admire a woman with a career.
Must you look so pleased with yourself?
From the makers of Father Brown.
How about a nice cup of tea?
I can think of nothing more enjoyable.
Comes the New Zealand premiere of Sister Boniface Mysteries. Starts Tuesday, April 26 on UK TV.
Get ready for more on Disney Plus.
We'd like it if you joined us.
More Star Wars.
This is the way.
More Nat Geo. Wow. More Marvel.
This is absurd.
More Star.
Did I write that? That is John Wayne.
I'm confused.
More Disney.
You're very unpleasant.
Okay.
All this. Plus more. There's always more to explore on Disney Plus.
I'm here to make a proposal that's mutually beneficial.
Join Sky Broadband and get 12 months of Disney Plus on us. That's 12 months of this.
It's time to show them who I really am.
12 months of this.
You're a Hawkeye.
And maybe even 12 months of...
You're just as special as anyone else in this family.
That. So what are you waiting for? Go to skybroadband.co.nz and switch to Sky Broadband now.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we will twist the very fabric of reality.
That's right. We want you.
I'm in.
Count me in, too. Who? I want to help. What do you want me to do?
That's the spirit, Daddy. You are exactly who I need.
This is not just funny games. This is a job.
All Tony, Big Mooney, full loading. Can you help us or not?
Yes. I can take anything you can dish out, so bring it on.
Let the games begin.
I'll take that as a yes.
On my signal, unleash heck.
Buckle up, Templetons.
Yeah. He's like Superman with a high-top fade. Unbelievable.
You knocked on the wrong door, hombre. How was that? Did that sound cool?
Our relationship with the planet, the elements, and the path to a sustainable future hasn't always been easy. This year, mark Earth Day with a week of documentaries celebrating our connection to the natural world and our continued efforts to protect it.
I do truly believe that together we can create a better future.
Earth Week starts Monday, April 25 on BBC Earth.
After almost a year on the road, the boys are back.
Starts absolutely livens up the crowd here at Eaton Park. He just keeps finding the back of the net. Goal! Good awareness, good vision, good shot.
With 2 home games this season, the Yellow Fever is out in force. Isuzu Ute A-League, Wellington Phoenix, Central Coast Mariners. Sunday, Sky Sports 7 BN Sports.
Welcome back to the Wits Rugby Stadium, and at halftime then it's Griquas in that lead by 10 points. They've scored the solitary try of the match. courtesy of Manu Hotzenberg, and there's a change that's been made with Banelli and Tanjani, who's on the park for the Lions. Griquas continue the match then without Stefan Unger at scrum half. He was replaced by Johan Mulder early on. And there's a high tackle, so that'll be a penalty to Griquas.
Number 11.
Rather to the Lions. Penalty against Griquas.
Yeah, it was a really good kickoff from George Whitehead. A lot of height on it, as well as distance.
14.
Taken in by Zalinger Stradom. And he was the man hard tackled.
Griquas on the line.
By that man, the try scorer, Munir Hotzenberg.
Use the line, please. Get in.
Now they call that one seatbelt. Not too dangerous, but high nonetheless.
Yeah, you guys are fine there.
So do the Lions sense that there's an opportunity for them to come back into this game?
Yeah, I'm not happy.
They had lots of opportunities in the first half. They were unable to convert them. Just that solitary penalty from Tian Swanepoel. Now getting a fair bit of possession to the kick downfield. Here's Whitehead. Back foot Swanepoel. He's got plenty of time to make his call. And the net result is that Griquas are back in the Lions' half of the field.
Yeah, that was really well done by George Whitehead. First of all, to stop that little grubber through. They were looking for the 50-22, the Lions. Did well to almost goalie save it, as in football, and then put in the big boot way over all the Lions players, driving them right back. And then Swanepoel only able to take it up to just short of the 10-yard line.
Well, they've got with the short line out again, have Griquas. They've done it on the odd occasion. It's worked well for them. Out from Mulder. That's a good slick pass as well from the scrum half. Here's Zander du Plessis. Moved from the fly half position to accommodate George Whitehead. He's moved to the inside centre berth. And brought down there is Kudzwai Dube. Good play that by the Lions. They've got their hands on the ball. They really have been competitive at breakdown point. And in fact, on that occasion, it was Derek Pretorius, Carl Schmidt, once again getting his hands onto the ball, showing that he's a loose forward playing in the lock position today.
Yeah, it was that tackle though from Sangweni. Brilliant tackle. Nice and low, chopping down the Griquas player, and he hasn't found touch.
Neatly taken out of the air there by Reinhard Jonker. Didn't quite have the opportunity to play it out wide to Luther Olby. Again, it's Dube. Griquas players not getting to the breakdown point quickly enough to put enough pressure on the Lions.
Tackler.
Yeah, that time they were just really lucky. I think it was Sasko and Glovo, the tackler, just not rolling away. Otherwise, the Lions would have had another turnover. Yeah, that's a good kick again from George Whitehead. It's Carlos Hardy as well as Ndlovu. There you see, they're still lying there. And it just gives those cleaners just 1 second delay, and that's all that the Lions need to get their hands on the ball.
This time it goes to Zito. Back inside to Luther Olby. Is well tracked there by Jakob Vasaki. This is better play, this from Griquas. A little bit of purpose that they're showing too, as Corma takes it up.
Once again, number 4, he bought you time to jackal. Number 4 not rolling away.
Well, we've had a very high penalty count in this game. Both sides conceding penalties, and another chance here for Griquas, and immediately Whitehead says, let's kick it goal.
Andre, I can't reward your tacklers if the tackler's in the way, right? You guys have to take responsibility for that now.
Yeah, and exactly what we've been saying, just the tackler's not rolling away quick enough. Now, to give him a bit of credit, he was trying. He just had one of the Griquas players on his back. But it was a little bit better attack from Griquas from that line out. They had a few options. I felt that one that led to that ruck, that ball should have gone out the back. Had a few numbers on the outside. But at least they've got the options, and giving the playmakers those options, either play the short player or the one out the back.
Excellent strike from Whitehead to get another 3 points, his third penalty goal, and the first points then of the second half going to the men from Kimberley. So Luke Rousseau, that's a decent enough kick in too. Lots of pressure on Griquas, but they look for recovery. Good work from Henry Sergel. Protection for Johan Mulder from Johan Vuerta.
Make sure you're on here. Use 9.
No doubt we'll see another kick over the top. And it hasn't really gone far enough. Luther Obi up for it.
Good contest.
Been a lot of competition with the ball in the air. Now playing a little bit wider, and an unfortunate knock on there from the Lions. It does look like Griquas are really trying to speed the game up a little bit in the second half.
That looks like Angia Selengbe. He's on the field for the Lions. Sitting with a little knock on. A little bit of a floating pass that he did get, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. Look at this hang time from Luther Obi. Whoa. Very well taken by Hansen. It's been good in the air this afternoon.
He was a basketball player in his day.
Surely. Michael Jordan.
Crouch. Boy. Come on. Okay. Do it again.
But just the one change then up front with Banelli and Tanjani on as a replacement for the Lions in the loose head position for JP Smith.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
So out it comes then, Griquas with the opportunity. There's a real spring as well in the step of many of the Griquas players that we're seeing now in the second half.
Ripped in the tackle. Down.
Eventually it's Johan Mulder, and then Reinhard Jonker takes over the scrum half position.
Backwards.
So can Griquas speed up this game and ensure that they get a few more extra points? The Lions desperate in their defence. They know that they need to be the next scorer of points to stay in this game.
Harmless.
So that's a really good turnover that from the Lions. Hansen going back in field and holding on to the ball, but it's ripped away by Griquas. They've done it on a few occasions during this game.
Fell into that.
It did look like that ball was going to get turned over by the Lions, but the ball was being held by Griquas, so the penalty offer is to the Lions.
So you do have a high tackle on this play here. All right. So you want to see the points of contact. All right. Marius. Okay. We've got a high tackle here against the Lions player on the Griquas number 15. There's possible head contact. Can you just check if it doesn't make direct contact to the head, please?
Okay, just give me a second.
Okay. The player is really low, right?
Yeah, there's this tackle by Andre Warner. Yeah, it's definitely contact to the head. But you've got to feel for Andre Warner. He's committed, going nice and low. That's Jonker who slipped.
Yes, Morris.
But completely accidental. The player actually he's on his knees at the time when the contact is taking place. So the tackler could not have done anything different to avoid that. So my recommendation to you would be no foul play, play your original decision.
Okay, no foul play, Morris. I'm going to stick with my original decision, which was holding on for the Lions, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Your number 15, there's no foul play. She was literally on the ground when the contact came. Purely accidental, no foul play. Yeah.
No, I absolutely love that decision. There was no ways Andre Warner could have done anything different there.
Yeah, I just wonder about mitigating factors sometimes too. Is mitigating factor a wet field, and when you slip and you know, maybe make contact with somebody, what's the call you make? You know, there's a law that states that you can't
any contact,
any contact to the head. But is that a mitigating factor? And I would imagine yes, of course it is, or it can be. So Fred Zalinger on 2 for the Lions.
Come on.
Good solid line out from the Lions, and now the breakaway opportunity here for Ndlovu. And it's good slick running there from the Lions initially, but it's little basic errors, I think, that both teams will be looking back at this game and saying, you know, the odd knock on here, or the free kick or the penalty we've given away. It's just has stemmed the flow of this game, I think, to a large extent.
Yeah, and Junior White's going to have absolute nightmares on Kamlashe. Again, ripping the ball from him in the carry. But you're quite right, Gav. A lot of silly errors coming actually from both teams when they are in the opposition's 22 and creating those chances.
Just going to remind you in the feed again, please. Just, yeah. It's incredible.
Always a precarious position, this, a midfield scrummage. But it is the Griquas team who have the put in, so they've got that benefit. And of course, they've got the boots of George Whitehead and Reinhard Jonker to make use of if needed. But they need a solid scrum, and that they've certainly got. In fact, it's a great scrum from Griquas, and they've won a penalty from it. For the first time, they've really looked like they've got the upper hand at scrum time.
Yeah, exactly what you would want when you're on the defensive, and you're put in at the line-up, at the scrum, sorry. Put in that big scrum, a little bit of effort allows your forwards to now have a little bit of a breather before they make sure they win this ball at the line-out. Siano Buerta's side. Got the Lions for standing up.
Well, once again, Butch, as well, you have a very tall loosehead in Tinjani, a big strong man too, and then you've got Yellow Buerta, you know, the little pocket rocket. And he certainly had the upper hand there, did the Griquas man. Well, interception. Here comes Jaco Fasaki. Has he got the legs to make it? Desperate to get to the line. That's a great tackle, that. And over Warner. Well, so over goes Warner. An attempted over. And Griquas, I think, have turned it over, have they? No, there's a penalty. There's a real arm wrestle on the ground there, but there's a yellow card that's been given against Zander du Plessis.
Well, Andre Warner's arguing, saying if he's committed an offence, I would have without him there, I would have scored the try. He's got a good point. I thought Zander du Plessis had done extraordinarily well to first of all get back there, but second of all to stop Andre Warner from crashing over.
Jaco Fasaki, is he looking to do a little tap and go?
Yeah, that's what they're looking at.
Just hold on. They're making a sub. Bring him on.
No. Is he calling him back again now?
No, there's a player being substituted.
Simon Vestrand has had to cry off. So he'll be replaced by Christophe Durant, the former Leopards player. Little basic errors are not doing their cause any good.
Yeah, trying to be a little bit sneaky. Everyone thought that it was going to be Jaco Fasaki with the carry.
TMO just confirmed it.
But he tapped and made the pass, which wasn't a good one. But this was a good intercept by Jaco Fasaki. Great stuff, and showed some good pace as well. I mean, we saw the pace of Hartzenberg in the first half for his try. Yeah, Zander du Plessis not on side and also around the collar. So right call made. But he did well, Jaco Fasaki.
Yeah, he did extraordinarily well. Hookers don't often get that opportunity, do they?
No, well, that's might be the reason why that pass went astray that he had to make, because he was still trying to catch his breath.
I can't. It's dangerous. I want to stand up. I can't.
No, that's never good to see.
Yeah, the injuries are not helping the cause here of either team, of course.
Okay, water off, please.
Sesko Ndlovu, who's also enjoying his opportunity to make a name for himself, as are a lot of the youngsters in all the Currie Cup teams too. Sadly for the Lions, they haven't been able to produce the points that they needed, but certainly the experience that these youngsters are gaining is certainly can help their cause.
Boy. Sit.
So can the Lions put pressure at scrum time on Griquas? That they've done. And it's a title that they've won. That's brilliant play that from the Lions. You get into these situations, you've just got to score points. But somehow those points have eluded them all the way through. So it's another penalty now. And it begs the question, after that last scrum, you don't want to scrum again.
Yeah, scrum again, or I would like to see them execute the Jaco Fasaki move a bit better, the tap and go, but they've gone for the line. Much better scrum from the Lions. Ball wasn't well hooked by Griquas. Sat in the middle of the scrum for quite a few seconds before the extra push came in from the Lions. That's always a problem, because nowadays the hooker has to hook the ball. So it's a 7 versus 8 in the scrum.
You're fine there. You're fine there. Go.
Well, they've been in this situation a few times in the game of the Lions, close to the Griquas line, looking for some motion in their maul or their catch and drive. They've not been able to accomplish that up to now, and it looks like it's, at the moment, pretty much the same. But here comes Jaco Fasaki. Are they going to find some momentum, enough to get him over the line? Warner waits for it and gets it. Oh dear, that's going to be a yellow card, surely. No. Instead, is it going to be a drive? Andre Warner is just so close. The forwards looking to pump their legs to get over that line.
Captain!
Tajani.
No hands, Captain!
Surely they've got to get over somewhere along the line. I think they're over the line, but have they got it down? The key question.
Short!
Still they come. The Griquas was desperate in defence.
Just a knock on. Last forward in the contest.
Well, a few pats on the back there for the Griquas players for some great defence.
Scrum. I was on the spot.
Yeah, this was the quick tap from Warner.
Okay, let's go.
Just the patience from the Lions, because that was extraordinary. Oh, unbelievable defence from Griquas, must be said. Not just in that instance, from the ensuing phases as well. Just a bit of patience needed from the Lions. A lot of white line fever and a bit of panic with everyone trying to pick and go as quick as possible. They needed to just slow it down a tiny bit and have a bit of control, and then someone would have crashed over.
Good. Let's go.
It was there for the taking, that's for sure.
I was happy with it. Okay, 100%.
Yeah, some changes now in that front row.
Andre's Skatan.
Yeah, and that's what they need.
Bringing his 117 kilograms to replace Janu Buerta.
They had a solid game, Janu Buerta.
There's the water off. Let's go.
I'm very chuffed that you refer to Janu Buerta as a pocket rocket, because Brent Russell, I see him quite often now in Durban, and he claims that he's the only pocket rocket. I'm going to compare him now to Janu Buerta and say that is what a pocket rocket is.
Crouch.
Of course, he's a culinary expert too, Janu Buerta. He knows all about food. He's a chef. So down that scrum goes. And often the new man is blamed for it.
There's something wrong that side as well. Need you guys higher, okay? Yeah. Need you higher. Right. Square up.
So Kudzai Dube, the only man remaining in that front row for Griquas, with Simon Vestrot off with an injury, replaced by Gustav Durant, and Andre Skitter on for Janu Buerta.
Crouch.
But it's another real chance for Griquas, and just failed to capitalise on these opportunities when they've come their way. Now they get another penalty. Tap and go is the call. Still looking to try and work their way through there. So Jared Cairns taking it up once again. And it's another turnover from Griquas, and they really do attack the ball when in the tackle, try and rip it out, steal it, and they've done it on so many occasions. George Whitehead, not his best kick of the day, but he was under huge pressure there.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, great pressure from the Lions. But Kamalashe, I just don't know how he does it. It must be his third turnover in the tackle. Somehow gets his hands and arms in amongst the ball as he's making contact. Really a good skill to have. And he saved the Griquas a number of times, and also led to that try of Griquas in the first half.
Well, the Lions line out continues to look threatening. Again, it's Jaco Fasaki at the back with it.
Keep your mind first.
Warner quickly through the hands of Zeilinger. pass out there to the far side. Can they get over? Yep, they have. Tian Swanepoel gets in. Their first points of the second half, the Lions.
Yeah, set up by Henko van Wyk, the big number 13 for the Lions. Good carry from him, stayed on his feet, pumped the legs. Nice quick ball, it was a good clear out by James Molensi. And then the long pass. That's the only time you're allowed to use the skip pass, Gav, is about 5 meters from the try line, when it is a try scoring pass. But they deserve a try, the Lions. Certainly haven't given up at all throughout the 60 minutes, and they're back in the game now.
From the touchline, Tian Swanepoel. And it's a great kick from him. All the points of the Lions belonging to the fullback.
Yeah, an important conversion as well, taking them within 6 points now.
Thanks.
Andre Warner spotting that Swanepoel was open on the outside. It was a good effort. I think it's Ashton Davids in the 26 jersey. Good effort from him to prevent Swanepoel from scoring, but it wasn't good enough.
That's a great hanging kick from Whitehead. Putting a lot of pressure on the Lions. Swanepoel. Long deep kick there. Of course, Griquas are looking into the sun too. Now Whitehead. Being up and under from him. No, he decides to change direction. Try and open things up. This is where Griquas can be really dangerous if they're able to play it out wide. They haven't done it yet on many occasions in this game.
2022.
Whitehead again controlling matters.
Yeah, and another 50-22. Brilliantly done by George Whitehead. Brilliantly done by Griquas. It was started by Whitehead as well. A little counter-attack. There were numbers on the outside. The Stigma Lions hadn't all come up in a line. We were expecting Griquas to kick that ball back. But they had a little run, set it up, brought the wingers up, and Whitehead did the rest.
Let's go, James. Let's hurry it up, please.
Gustav Durant getting the message as to where this needs to go in. So once again, it's a shorter line out. Swalili Zito used in the front. And Van Zyl standing at the back.
Backwards once.
So this is a really good effort here from Griquas, and it's desperate defence for the Lions. They know they can't concede a try here. That's really going to push them back somewhat. Mulder's pass goes astray. Here's Ashton Davids. And it's been turned over by the Lions. That's really good play from them. Can they open things up here? Are there some opportunities for them? Is this game starting to drift in their direction? Griquas just desperate to hold on to it where they can. And we've seen them so brilliantly turn over the ball on many occasions in this game. Mulder.
Use 9.
So Mulder
Stay
now
onside 23.
with the kick over the top. And that's gone directly to touch, so they're going to have to come back some distance. Disappointing that for the young scrum half.
7 red. Yeah. Over here.
Yeah, it was good pressure put on Mulder with the box kick. Quite often you just see teams leaving the scrum half to kick the ball. But that little bit of pressure just puts a little bit of doubt in the scrum half's mind. And they're making the error.
I think what must be worrying Griquas a little bit are the 15 penalties that they've conceded in this game thus far. We saw a yellow card given to Zander du Plessis, but the penalty count has really been far too high for them, and the Lions slowly clawing their way back into this game, looking for opportunities. Zeilinger with a pass.
Tackle!
Now, the centre three quarters have not always had many opportunities in this game, but here come the Lions now. Jared Cairns with a carry. Once again, it's question time for the Lions. Do they take the 3 points or do they look for 7?
I don't know. I think they've got their tails up. I'd like them to have a look at 7 somehow.
Table time, please. 13 left. What are you doing?
Lost for the time. Yeah, it is going to be to the corner. Yanni du Plessis made his way onto the field as well, so maybe he can put a bit of weight behind this maul and get them to crash over.
Captain, what are we doing?
I think there was a discussion there again about changing.
You guys have indicated
and
line.
not kicking it out.
Oh, the tee's on now.
Somebody said to him, "You got to kick it goal," and he said, "No, I'm kicking out."
Yeah, now the pressure's on. They've got to
look at that
back up.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable.
No, it's kept the Lions and got the Lions back into the game.
They need a decent line out. They need a decent drive. They need 7 points to the Lions. They're 6 adrift at the moment. And they just seem to be getting stronger and stronger in the second half. Now, will they carry it in terms of a little pot? There goes the pot to take it forward. This is where you've got to show patience. Just work your way up to the try line as best as you can. Griquas, we know, have defended well in this game. They've not allowed any easy run-ins for the Lions team, and they'll continue to do that. But somewhere along the line, a damn wall's always got to break. So it's carried through. How many faces right now? Plenty of them as they keep coming. Can they play wide? Strong play there from Henko van Wyk. And they've managed to keep it in field too. Equally good work there from your friend Tablashi. Butch, he really has been evident in the game. Been so busy. Zeilinger. Molensi. The little pop pass. Out it goes. Oh dear. A game of lost opportunities, one could say, at this conclusion for both teams.
Captain. Okay, this time we share. You guys are under pressure clearly. Keep on infringing. I can't have every single time you guys tackle. I can't have you go over the top of the ruck. Ruck is formed. Leave it. Leave it. Ruck is formed. Right. Go tackle him, please.
Yeah, there's that team warning. It's come a bit late in the game. But geez, what an opportunity for the Lions to score. So it was a lovely little break by Molensi. Good little offload as well, just not going to hand.
Well, they know their lineouts have worked well, which that's probably going to be their best option they might feel at this point in time. We've also seen a lot of busyness from Kusani since he's come on as well for the Lions, and somehow or other they just seem to be a different team in the second half.
4 and 13.
Well, they certainly are getting them all set up nicely. They're just not getting it going forward. So once they get that going, it will be a certain try.
Yanni du Plessis on as well to add a little bit of extra weight in place of Kalu Sadi. There are some fresh legs. That's well taken by Junior White. Just plucked it out of there. I thought initially he might have knocked it on, but he didn't. And still they come now. Warner. Got Cal Smith standing outside him. Still they come. Dajani. And still another opportunity there as well. Still they come. The Lions. And they've been oh so close on a couple of occasions. Can they find their way through somehow? Well, this time a penalty against them. Saving grace that for the Griquas team.
Come here, please. 100%. This is okay. Relax. Right. I'm playing a penalty advantage against him. Right. And I'm going to deal with him. I don't need you reacting like that.
I'm sorry.
You understand? Calm down. All right. Just spoken to your players. Multiple infringements. He's going to the bin. Yeah. Maury. I just want to clear that.
Well, there goes a very important cog in the wheel. George Whitehead with a red card, which is going to be for pretty much for most of the game.
Okay, give me a second. We're going to look for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it might have been Yanni du Plessis that's reacted pretty badly. He was the man that was tackled, and Whitehead was lying all over him, not allowing him to place the ball to get quick ball. And I think he's reacted pretty badly, and could be a reversal this penalty.
Badly or convincingly?
We'll see how convincingly now. It was a good carry by Yanni. Came really close. Here's the infringement by Whitehead, very obvious. Yeah, it's just a slap to the back of the head.
It does look like he's trying to get out of there, or making a token attempt, nevertheless.
We've just got one more angle coming, JD.
Okay.
Well, if there's a question mark against the lash out with the boot there of Yanni du Plessis, or his fist, or whatever it might be. Oh.
Okay, JD, as you've mentioned, there was a reaction by number 18, White. It's an open hand slap on the back of a Griquas player's head. So in this instance, I would just turn the penalty around for the action of number 18, White.
Okay, all right, thanks. Okay, captains. Like I said, I have dealt with your player, but gave him a yellow card. After that, now your player can't take the law into his own hands. He has reacted with an open hand to the back of the player, so I'm going to reverse the penalty. It's going to go against you. Okay. Yeah. That was the first infringement, and then the second one is the retaliation. No.
Yeah, I think very well dealt with all round. Can feel Yanni du Plessis' frustration, but you can't take the law into your own hands.
No, of course you can't do that. And luckily, Griquas have the boot of Zander du Plessis, who's normally a fly-off, playing at 12 today, to be able to take care of. But this is where it all happened.
Yeah, just the frustration. And that's probably come from all those penalties that have been happening in the 22 of the Griquas.
So less than 10 minutes left then of this Carling Currie Cup encounter.
Green down first.
Mulder out to Davids. Now Zander du Plessis. Got a big boot as well, and that's a good kick. No, it's not good enough. It's gone straight into touch, so they'll come back some distance.
Yeah, they're going to miss that experience of George Whitehead, as well as Ungaro left the field early on in the game. This is the time in the game when you need those experienced heads just to control it, calm things down a bit. It was definitely the right option there from Xander du Plessis, just catching it a bit too well.
And of course, it's been a beautiful day here in Johannesburg too. Not much wind, and it can get quite windy at this stadium at times, but absolutely perfect weather for both teams. Good take at the front there by Junior White. James Moletsi. Warner. Quickly through the hands as Edgar van Beek tries to make some ground. Does pretty well, does the centre three-quarter. But the Lions play with a lot more confidence now, one's got to say it. Things are opening up for them. There's a lot more space they're finding than they found in the first half. And now they're getting an opportunity to ignite their backs to Luther Obi came in from the left wing. Now the little kick through, which way does it bounce? A knock for Baldwin Hansen. He's hardly touched the ball in this match, but he was there when the crucial time came.
They're brilliant from the Lions, brilliant from Zeilinger. Asking for that ball, he had his hand up, asking Warner to give it to him. He spotted that there was no fullback in place, put it onto the boot, and Hansen did well as well. Bounced pretty high up and was on its way to the touchline. Brought it in nicely, remained in the field of play and got that try for the Lions.
Huge kick this for Swanepoel to get the Lions into the lead.
The chance for potential foul play. Time's off, yeah.
Marius van der Westhuizen just checking something.
Just give us time, JD. I think it's a serious...
Question marks, yeah.
Is it against the team that scored the try?
We might have to just take this back a little bit further.
Yeah, it's the action is against the Griquas play, but it looks like a very dangerous tackle, so I just want to clear it.
Absolutely nothing wrong, of course, with a finish there from Baldwin Hansen.
So it's actually against one of the Griquas players in the build-up to the try, a dangerous tackle, so it would just be a yellow card. The try is still going to stand. Got a feeling it's the ruck before that. I think it's against the number 8 for Griquas, Siba Kolma. Yeah, we'll see it. I thought it was a great tackle in live action. That is Palmer there.
Well, I'm not sure they're going to find anything wrong, because right up until now, what we've seen there all seems to be pretty legal and non-problematic.
Okay, JD, it's all clear. You can go. Sorry, it just took a bit of time, but it's all clear. I just wanted to clear that tackle on Fred Zeilinger.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so the game could continue. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know, technology's there to be utilized to prove whatever's required, and that certainly has happened now. So Swanepoel will take a deep breath. Well, he's absolutely nailed it. There's Tian Swanepoel. He's had an exceptional game with a boot today.
Yeah, so lovely to watch that action. And just the strike he gets onto the ball, it's really impressive. Great stuff from Zalinger. Also a lot of experience, Fred Zalinger, and they'll need that now, the Lions. 6 or so minutes to go. With a 1-point lead, they're going to have to play in the right areas of the field.
Tackle!
So how do the Lions play it now with those 6 odd minutes left of this game? How best can they control it? They want to get out of their half, I'm pretty sure. It's going to be one of the important elements. Swanepoel straight down the middle of the park. Griquas with attacking opportunities. Here comes Zander du Plessis. Absolutely vital, of course, for both teams to maintain their integrity in defence. And part of that is their organisation, how best they spread themselves across the field. Davids with a long pass. Christopher Hollis, who's also on, taking it into the mix. Davids quickly through the hands there. In fact, it was Dafula with just making sure it goes through the hands as quickly as possible. And here they come, Griquas. Real opportunity, one senses that they're looking for now. Some good running from Henry Sergel and also from Munir Hartzenberg, who's got all the pace in the world.
It's your own player.
Dapula, Hollis. Mulder. And just a full run in there from Eddie Davids too. Trying to find a little bit of space. Zander du Plessis trying to do the same. Well, they've won a penalty, have Griquas. And they don't have George Whitehead on the field, but they've got Zander du Plessis. Can he kick this 50-odd meters?
Well, we saw him slot plenty of these in the Varsity Cup.
3.5.
So it'll be pretty easy for Zander du Plessis. But again, the Lions, their own worst memories. It was great work by Selengbe. Getting in there, getting the steal. It would have been a Lions penalty had the tackler rolling away a little bit quicker.
It's a long kick. It's a kick that requires a little bit of vuma, and it hasn't got enough direction. So Tian Swanepoel decides not to put it down, but instead hammers it downfield. Now Ashton Davids. Well, it's all about not conceding penalties right now. Both teams have to be certain that they don't give away penalties. Griquas with a little bit of spark. Here comes Christopher Hollis. It quickly thumped into the deck. Derek Pretorius. Some really solid play here from Griquas, getting themselves onto the front foot. Here comes Pretorius. He's had a really good game as Derek Pretorius.
That's slow ball. He's stuck in there.
Just a couple of meters and
18.
They can secure another try, which surely will win the match for them if they do that. Can they play it wider? Why don't they play it wider? Everyone's around the ball except for Munir Hartzenberg, who's standing out wide.
17.
But the ball's too slow to execute the cross kick right now.
Use 9.
Still, they want to control it as best as they can. 11 phases, going into the 12th phase. And the long pass, and there it is. Brilliant play that by Griquas. They showed all the courage that was needed to hold on, and Ashton Davids eventually gets in for their try. Their first try of the second half.
Yeah, the best passage of play from Griquas in the whole game comes in the 78th minute. Great attack from them. And great options taken as well. More often than not, it was Johan Mulder making those good decisions, and a great pass from him to Davids. And let's see how much time George Whitehead is back on the field to make the conversion, and he's got to make sure he takes up all of that time he's got. We might just get the kickoff, even if he does take all of his time.
He's going to make sure that's not going to happen. He's keeping an eye on that conversion count there. It's almost matching the time as we see on the screen there. But he's made sure of it as George Whitehead smacks it through the middle, and that could just be the death knell of the Lions, who've been very plucky in their attempt today. There is the final whistle. And one's got to feel sorry for the Lions players. They really gave everything that they had. It wasn't enough on the day, and they do incur another loss. But they've got to hold their heads up high, because they fought gamely. But it was the experience of the Griquas side eventually that actually really put them together. They left it till the last minute, but that doesn't matter. The scoreboard has no comments column on it. It's simply got a score, and that score today shows Griquas winning this game against the Sigma Lions, and that's the final scoreline then. Griquas 23, Lions 17.